Hello everybody and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review as we are on this election night and everything. Hopefully if you did, if you did not, if you voted or not voted, hey man, just take however you want to take it. I'm not going to go into politics or who I said I voted for or go into a lot of reasons or whatnot, or maybe this is another one of these lesser two evil situations, but I'll just say this. If you voted, you voted. If you didn't, you did it. That's how you take your choice, okay? That's all I'm gonna say about with this whole election thing going on, like I said last night in the Raw review. So I'm not gonna go into politics and whatnot, but one thing I do want to say though, before we begin this review of Impact Wrestling tonight, number one, I want to thank the Urban Wrestling Network. In a way, I'm under their umbrella right now. We're all under the same umbrella. And you can go to their website right now. I should be on there too. So I'm working with these guys right now. Hopefully we got a future episode coming out. Talk New York Chef. I still got to get you that logo soon. I haven't had any time. It's been busy, but hopefully I will get in you soon enough and whatnot. But yeah, I want to thank them also and everything. Before we go into this review. So yeah, check me out, and you can check out the rest of the crew from there, and check out the website. You'll find me in their videos, also of their reviews, get their perspective on a lot of these shows that are going on right now in wrestling, including mine. Okay, so hey, gotta expand and network with people, okay folks. But moving on into the Impact Wrestling review. One thing which honestly I'm really kind of sick of this whole thing already at this point is the whole who shot Johnny Bravo case now from last week. I don't know why they're doing a murder mystery on this. I honestly don't know why. I don't really want to see any more of these Wrestle House guys. I've even said it myself. You know, it's just one too much comedy on this show. I feel like it's coming too much comedy, honestly, and it's not even funny, too. And it's like I said about Wrestle House. I didn't mind it at first because it was funny, but it should have been on YouTube or on, you know, the Impact Plus app or something. But I feel like now, once you get done with the Wrestle House, now you're doing murder mysteries now. We're doing murder on a wrestling show. Or, well, he's alive, Johnny Bravo, but now we're doing to some type of Who Shot Mr. Burns thing that's going on right now. So I don't really want to see this. I don't know why. I just feel like it takes too much of the show's time up. And I feel like a lot of those guys on, like, that's part of this whole thing on the roster have better stuff. They are good talent. Like I said, a lot of these people got talent and they're not bad. I just feel like they should be utilized a little bit more better than being in this comedy shtick and whatnot. I even said Taya just needs to be back in the Knockouts division or whatever they're doing with this tag team or something. They need to do something like get these guys back in at least a normal state, because I'm not the biggest fan of this whole thing. You know, one other thing I do want to address also before we kind of get into this review, I almost forgot to speak on this. I want to say a little bit about the whole Kylie Rae thing that's going on, because I know there was a post that I think she put out yesterday, I think it was on her Patreon, and that she said she is unwell right now and she has retired from professional wrestling. So this kind of answers all the questions that's been going on to why she, you know, was not at Bound for Glory about over a week ago now, and people wondered. I even thought myself, and this is just what I read, but I thought it was probably due to some whole Corona thing, like the whole collective event people said she was at, and then a lot of people said she was injured, and what is Impact going to do about this? I don't know what was going on with Kylie Rae, but she did go on in a post to talk about why she will not be back in wrestling. She's just unwell right now, and you know, she just wants to step away. I guess she's just going to be stepping away from wrestling until further notice and whatnot. Okay, so I don't know what is going on with that, but she's going to be gone. And she even said like she still wants to kind of complete, you know, her obligation still. Like, you know, she's apologizing, like, you know, to the fans and everything, and understands that they want to unsubscribe, and I guess she wants to try to you know, somewhat fix things and whatnot. But like I said, she went on a post yesterday about it, and like I said, it's really messed up. It honestly is, okay? Because obviously this must be a you know, like like I said, it's a mental thing going on and whatnot, and we don't know what she's going through right now. All I know is that she is unwell. Okay, she's unwell, and she just wants to. She's just not gonna be a professional wrestler anymore at this point. So yeah, after after I read it, and she, like I said, she said it was a hard decision. And when she's well, she will try to fulfill those obligations and whatnot. But she's just going to be stepping away for a while. So, like I said, I don't know what's really going on with this girl. It's very sad. It's very messed up. Obviously, like everyone else has said, it has to be some type of mental health or depression. It's fucked up. It really is. Now, because I think if we remember, this is almost like this. Isn't this like the second time? Because wasn't this girl supposed to be like a prominent thing in AEW, and then she just ended up leaving there, and nobody never really knew why she left AEW or what her reason was. I never really figured out why she left AEW to begin with before it even really started up. And yeah, I just remember I think she was still doing some indie dates, and then I was there when she actually debuted for Impact Wrestling, when she showed up for Bound for Glory last year, and that Call Your Shot Gauntlet Battle Royale. I was surprised to see her. I'm like, oh shit, Kylie Rae's in AEW, but she's an Impact. And it took some time to get the whole contract thing negotiated, but she ended up, being an Impact and everything. And I enjoyed her run throughout the time. Like I said, to go through the whole Smiley Kylie thing and whatnot. And I really do believe she would have won the Knockouts Championship at Bound for Glory. If everything had gone as planned and everything. I thought she actually was going to win the title, but just given what has happened and whatnot, in the circumstances, that's the reason why she was not there. And we got a phone call. It's always a phone call when I'm doing these reviews. You ever notice that? I'll never understand it. I got a phone call. But yeah, other than my phone call I just had to take care of right there. As I was saying, like I said, Kylie Rae's run in Impact and everything. Basically, just to get through this whole thing, I don't know what's going to happen with Kylie Rae. Hopefully, she will be okay and just take as much time as she needs off, if she even wants to decide to come back to professional wrestling. It does suck that, like I said, she is gone for right now, but you don't know what that girl is going through right now, okay? So all I can say is just take as much needed time as possible, and then maybe sometime in the future or whatever, maybe, she will decide to come back to professional wrestling whenever she decides to do that. So that is very sad. That is a very sad story though, and gotta say it's a big loss for, in a way, Impact also, because this girl's good, real good. Just just didn't really I don't think nobody really saw this coming. So but like I said before, best wishes to her. Next, at the beginning of this show of Impact, a person who I'm seeing way too much also on this show, Scott D'Amore. Why is he more on this show? I don't know why. I don't really need to see him. I get he's an authority figure, but he is getting way too much TV time, and it doesn't make any sense. Next thing you know, Tommy Dreamer came in, or Sherlock Tommy Dreamer, gonna solve this whole criminal investigation of who shot Johnny Bravo, and they're gonna try to figure that whole thing out. We did kick off with the Knockouts title on the line, the rematch from Bound for Glory between Su Yung and Deonna Purrazzo, which I can't say this match didn't really go on anywhere that long. Ended up being DQ. Kimberly slipped in her chair. Purrazzo was going to use it, but Su Yung got the advantage. I'm surprised this match was later on in the night. She ended up hitting Kimberly and Deonna with the chair, then knocking her to the ground, basically in disqualification. Weak finish, but I guess I kind of figured what they were going to be setting this up for. I'm just surprised this match was right at the beginning of the show. I didn't understand where that was going. Rhino and Heath were sitting. I guess Heath was still injured and whatnot. It's Scott D'Amore once again. Not even that long, 10 minutes of the show, he's back on TV again, talking about the contract for, Heath and Rhino, the whole call your shot thing. And he says, I just need Heath to sign right here, and you'll, be back in the ring by next week. But he said, hey, man, I'll sign, but I'm not ready to wrestle right now, okay? And he said, hey, this is, everything that you asked for, it's in this contract, right? You wanted this, we're going to give it to you and everything. That's what you've been waiting for and whatnot. But how about this? We'll give it to you when you're healthy then. And why don't you just go to rehab, get done, and when you're ready, come back and you can sign a contract. If we're not going to have you wrestle while you're hurt, and that's some carting stuff right there, okay? And he basically, he got up and basically left, and next thing you know, Deon Purrazzo's lawyer showed up and whatnot again, talking about what happened out there. And basically, Scott D'Amore says, you know what? No DQ, anything goes, okay? And this match will be a turning point. So anything will happen. I don't care what happens, but there will be a winner for that championship. So no disqualification. I'm sure she'll love those terms. Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards in the back. Rich Swann singing along to Eddie Edwards' song, talking about being in the main event tonight. Chris Bay went against Trey Miguel. Good for Chris Bay, by the way, too. And I should say, just kind of good for Impact. I know Chris Bay is going to be part of the Super J Cup. That's part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know it was brought back last year because the Super J Cup hasn't been done in many years. I believe Jushin Thunder Liger created it, and I know he's in the tournament. And it's like several other wrestlers from different companies, either freelance or ROH or GCW, whatnot. I know that Chris Bay is in the tournament. I know TJP's in it, but he's, like I say, he's a freelance wrestler and whatnot. But Chris Bay is official with Impact, so he is going to be in the Super J Cup tournament. Good on him. I know some people are already kind of thinking to themselves now, like, oh, maybe it's going to be a partnership with them and New Japan. I wouldn't go that far away yet. Listen, I know we saw Rocky Romero on that special they did before Bound for Glory about a week ago. And that was great. And there was a lot of New Japan references and plugs to it also. But I don't want to sit here and tell you that they have a partnership or they're working together already, okay? Maybe this is like a baby step thing. I don't know what this will go into. But let's not jump to head to conclusions if New Japan Pro Wrestling is working with Impact again. So let's not go for that. But Chris Bay ended up beating Trey Miguel pretty much in like a cutter from the top rope backwards and everything. So good match and everything. Nothing to really complain about here. Hopefully Chris Bay's going on to something better. Madison Rayne and Johnny Swinger there for locker room talk, as Jordan Grace was the guest and Tenille Dashwood. They asked Jordan about not being able to connect with a partner after what happened with Alicia last week. And basically, she's still working on it. But Tenille Dashwood and Caleb Conley with, the K came in. And Jordan Grace basically, saying we're going to get a partner one way or another. But, they just couldn't get along. And Grace said, maybe the winning team is in this room right now. Tenille Dashwood agreed. Basically, I know I should team with. I'll team with you, Madison. And basically, we're going to take a photo and everything. Jordan Grace ended up taking Caleb's phone, throwing it on the ground. So, yeah, maybe I guess Madison and Tenille are going to be a team, or wherever they're going with this oddball team or whatnot they're trying to put into this tournament for the knockout belts. Let's not have an oddball team win the tournament, please. Just have a regular team on the show win the tournament. So let's go with that. Tommy Dreamer, of course, was interviewing or interrogating people of who shot Johnny Bravo, asking, Johnny Swinger and Cody Deaner, but they had a match to get out to and whatnot, so not much I could say from that. Rohit Raju was in the ring, cut a promo, talking about, he's beat 5 wrestlers at Bound for Glory, basically being a heel promo, want some fresh meat for this challenge and whatnot. TJP came out basically with a cup of coffee in his hands and wasn't really out there to compete, but, he is here to answer this challenge. Rohit says, I gave you the opportunity at Bound for Glory and whatnot, and you lost. But TJP said, this is a different, opportunity. As Rohit said, listen, I've scratched and clawed my way to the top of the X Division. I had to do a lot to get here, okay? And TJP says, yes, you did put in work, but you haven't done what I've done. Also, I've been in this business for 23 years. Talked about being one of the youngest people in Mexico, being one of the youngest gaijins in New Japan and whatnot. And he was even homeless at one point. That actually was true. And, he says the reason why you can't beat me because you think you cheat your way to do this is that you just can't beat me. That's basically what's going on here. Rohit basically said that, TJP is just a a has-been who's speaking in past tense. I'm speaking in present tense right now, okay? But as TJP was going to leave, he ended up throwing the coffee in his face and just, pretty much left in after that, after the knocking it at him. So, he knocked Rohit out the ring and basically held up the title after that. Like I said, not a bad segment and everything. It's a good promo there, I will say that. Especially for Rohit trying to find using more. He always keep his title and whatnot. So at least he talked about how he had to scratch and claw his way, basically being from undercard to where he is right now. So we'll see where this is going, but not bad promo from both of these guys. I'll give it that. Basically, then right after, Scott D'Amore made the match that turning point title shot. That's what's gonna happen. Next, Doc Gallows with Carl Anderson. I'm not going to go into the whole, cheating on his hot Asian wife thing right now. I'm sure everybody's been reading over that over the weekend and whatnot. So, we don't know if he really did cheat on his hot Asian wife. But, Doc Gallows did go against Ethan Page. Basically a quick match from here. I know Josh Alexander got involved. Gallows ended up winning with the super kick for the win. Basically holding the titles then up after that. So, well, not holding the titles, but, Alexander attacked. They attacked the Good Brothers, but they ended up knocking the North outside the ring then as basically, North held the belts up. So, not much really going on from him, but obviously it's going to be a feud and whatnot. So, we'll see what happens from there. Chris Sabin talked about Alex Shelley being hurt and Team Triple XL attacking Alex Shelley last week, but now he's going to do something about it actually when he faces, I think he's facing Larry D next week. So, we'll see what goes on from there. Swaggle was in the back talking about being an Impact and his autobiography, which, is in stores right now. And next thing you know, Brian Myers showed up and, called Swaggle there a sideshow freak and everything. And that, Swaggle was fine with it, but I still eliminated you from the Battle Royale as pretty much Myers wasn't that happy with what was going on. And talk about it says, my run in Impact Wrestling was short. That's what they need to call this book before pushing him on the ground. Listen, if I were trying to rebuild Brian Myers into something better, I don't need to see another WWE feud with him facing Hornswoggle there, okay? I know they've been trying to make Brian Myers into something, but he's got to get that WWE comedy stank off of him. Don't put him in a comedy feud with Swoggle there. Please don't. We don't need to see that because I thought I was supposed to be taking this guy seriously. Don't make him into a joke again. Speaking of jokes, Johnny Swinger went against Cody Deaner. Swinger won using his fanny pack. I guess it was loaded to hit Deaner with. Nothing much I can really say from there. Like I said, it's been way too many comedy acts on this show. Moose came out with his TNA title, basically talking about what happened at Bound for Glory and what he did to EC3. And that people say he didn't earn this championship, that he pulled it out of the trash can and whatnot. Well, he says he went to hell and back and damn near killed a man just to get this belt back. As some say, he was one of the greatest TNA world champions in history and whatnot. But he's here to control his narrative, and now he's born again. And even talk about some of his accomplishments in Impact, being undefeated at pay-per-views, beating guys like RVD, Rhino, Ken Shamrock, Tommy Dreamer, and now EC3. And nobody wants to talk about his accomplishments, but they talk about Rich Swann, that second-rate championship he's holding, and even talked about when, he jumped Willie Mack last week. And, next thing you know, Moose went on, say, him and, Mack and Swann are friends and whatnot, but he told Swann that's what pain feels like. Mack came out and attacked Moose then. They started to brawl, but Moose ended up knocking him to the cameraman, which kind of threw Mack off. Moose started beating him up, even choking him with a cord then, saying he wants that title shot, which I do believe Moose can be the next person going for the title when it happens, but like I said, I'm almost kind of hoping they were going to take that TNA title away from him. I know he fought EC3 for it, and I think the whole EC3 was a one-time thing only. I heard he wasn't even at these tapings and whatnot, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going with EC3. EC3's got like a freelance going on thing. We already know he's in Ring of Honor right now, so EC3's all over the place, okay? But with this Moose thing and whatnot, I do, at least he's making himself a potential challenger for the title, but I still think he needs to get rid of that TNA title, which then again, at one point I looked at him as the real world's champion on this show. Even with that defunct belt, he looked like a champion still holding that belt. But I like this promo, but where's that going to lead him all the way? Chris Bay was talking to Rich Swann, I guess trying to get a title shot or whatnot. But Swan, say you not about to finesse me, and sorry, I thought I heard something. You're not about to finesse me, and it's not gonna work. Him and Eddie get ready for their match. Tommy Dreamer then was talking to all the suspects at the wedding, I guess, from the Deaners, Taya, Rosemary, James Mitchell, and others. They were going to have an investigation and whatnot, and I guess they took, photos. He was going to be the suspect. Listen, like I said before, I wouldn't mind if this was on YouTube or something, but I don't really need to see this on the show. Like a lot of people say, even myself, I'm starting to blame Jimmy Jacobs for this bad comedy writing. It's not good. It's just really not, to be honest. A lot of these people could be doing something better on this show. But in the main event, we did get Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards going against Eric Young and Sami Callihan. Not a bad main event, I should say. Pretty good. I know Ken Shamrock ended up coming out, basically kind of putting a distraction on Eddie Edwards then, which, Eric Young tried to roll him up, but then he hit him with the pile driver for the win, as Callihan, Young, and Shamrock stood tall and whatnot. Basically, both guys are still trying to go for the world title and whatnot, which even they said on commentary, I believe basically everybody involved in this match have been the world champion at one point and everything. So it does, like I said, sets up Swan at least for new challenges and feuds. I'm sure Eric Young is still going for the title, but it does set up Callihan, and you got Moose on the horizon also. So at least they do have challengers set up for Rich Swann for that title. Not a bad episode. The show was okay, solid, and whatnot. Basically, I think they didn't give out too much, maybe because of tonight. I'm sure everybody's just mostly paying attention to the election right now, so I'm sure everybody's paying more attention to that than they are with wrestling, depending if you care about politics or whatnot. So I don't know, but I feel like that may have been the case when it comes to this show, and they didn't want to put out nothing, too much important and whatnot. Okay, so we'll see what happens with Impact right now. I'm sure people are gonna say about the ratings and whatnot, but I don't know. I guess we'll see, but I'm sure a lot more people are paying attention to the election than they are mostly paying attention to wrestling right now. But like I said, overall, solid show of Impact tonight. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about the show tonight. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Tell me what you think about Impact and everything, or just anything that's going on with this show, I guess, as they build into Turning Point for the Impact Plus show in the next few weeks, okay? Other than that, though, like I said, tell me your thoughts on the show. Tell me your thoughts on, I guess, the whole Kylie Rae situation right now, too. Just anything on the show, all right? Just tell me what your thoughts on it, all right? But other than that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.